Healing the inner child. So a lot of us in our early stages of life had some sort of trauma happen to us. And the trauma doesn't have to be what we would think of a trauma as today. But if you're little and tiny and your mom or dad doesn't have time to focus on you 24/7, chances are you might have felt hurt or abandoned or like you weren't enough because of something that was kind of out of your control. And so when you grow up, sometimes you see life through the lens of that little child. And it could show up as feeling sad and lonely. It could show up as feeling anxious. And I kind of intermingle the inner child with the body because I feel like we hold the traumas in our body from our past. And this body is like a storage system for our emotions. And so as you tune into the body, you can find the certain emotions that were trapped there from when you were a child. So when the loneliness comes up, when you tune into it, you feel it in your body, but it could have been there from when a thing that had happened when you were very young. So maybe your mom was too busy to talk to you because she was working, and you had something that you wanted to talk about, but no one was there, and then you felt lonely, and then you just internalized it and it stuck there. And so then when you're out in the world, when you're older and you get into a situation where someone's too busy to talk to you about something, there's something called a trigger, and it triggers that feeling and that emotion from when you were that little. And so you think it's all about that person, and you could overreact when it was a little that person, but maybe 96.7% from when you were 3, right? So that's why it's important when you have the sadness, when you have the loneliness, when extreme emotions come up for you, instead of looking outside of yourself to say they're wrong, they're bad, and feeling like a victim. And I get how extreme and real it could be, but I want you to tune into yourself and really find that place within you. And as you do, say, okay, what's really going on here? Like, I'm here with you. You're safe and you're loved and you're wanted. And I love you and I'm present with you and I'm right here with you. As you tune into the sadness and the loneliness and you are present with it and you have your words that you focus inside of yourself, it changes the dynamic of the whole thing. Because if you look outside of yourself for whoever hurt you to make it better, sometimes that will never ever happen. And it could never happen, or it won't happen in the way that you want it to, or even if it does, it doesn't make you feel better. Like, there's a whole ton of things that could be from the outside. But if you focus in on yourself, on that feeling, on that sense of sadness or loneliness, and you become present with it yourself, and you say, I love you, and you're okay, and you are not alone, and I am right here with you, your body begins to know, and that little person inside you begins to know that you have its back and that you're here for it. What that does is it will actually dissolve those intense emotions, and it'll allow you to feel more calm and more grounded and more peaceful. And it's sustainable because you can always do this with the sadness, with the loneliness, with the anxiety. You can always tune into yourself no matter where you are or what you're doing. There's not always going to be an outside person who can make you feel better in these situations. But if you know how to do that, if you focus your voice and actually saying it out loud to yourself is so very powerful. It's so very powerful because your body is listening. And you can say it inside your own head as well. But saying it outside, like, it's okay, I love you, I've got you, I love you, I'm right here with you. Everything's gonna be okay. You know, soothing yourself just like you would a little puppy, a little baby, a little child. You know, talking to yourself in that way and letting yourself know that everything's going to be okay. I've done this so many times, and it shifted my whole reality, where I used to be really clingy and needy and wanting someone outside of myself to make it better. But sometimes it didn't. Sometimes they would say the right things and do the right things, but it wouldn't make it better. And I realized it was my voice that I needed to hear. It was my presence that I needed to feel. And so that's part of nurturing and loving the inner child and healing it. You know, taking the time to feel those emotions, the sadness, the loneliness, the anxiety. They're all younger parts of you. You know, the expansive part of you already knows everything's going to be okay. But you have to be from that space and talk to those younger parts of yourself that need love, you know. And you can say, hey, I love you. You know, you're doing a good job. I know it's hard, but I'm here with you and I love you. Everything's going to be okay. You know, all of the things that you've been waiting for someone to tell you, tell them to yourself, tell them to that inner child, and find those places inside of yourself, you know, in your tummy, in your solar plexus, in your heart. Anywhere that feels sad, anywhere that feels depressed, anywhere that feels lonely. Tune into them and tell yourself all the things that you wish your parents would have said to you, or a partner or a lover. Tell yourself those things. You'll feel a shift. I guarantee that. And keep at it. If it takes a while, just be gentle with yourself. You know, it's about trust. And sometimes that inner child needs to know that you're going to keep at it and needs to know that you're going to be present with it no matter what. So it's about, you're in it for the long haul, you know. And so take your time and be easy and just be loving and gentle and kind with yourself. You have the rest of your life. Okay? Good job. You made it. I will see you in the next segment.